The United States is a federal corporation. Well, the federal government is a corporation, and I don't know the exact chapter right now, but under Article 1, Section 8, Clause 3, and Clause 17, Congress could only pass its laws for United States citizens. Now, that's outside the United States judicial function. So, within its own corporation, it passes these laws. So, if you look it up, it says that the federal government is a corporation. So, now all crimes are commercial, right? Under 27 CFR 7211. So CFR stands for Code of Federal Regulations. So that's the rules and guidelines. But how to proceed in those rules and guidelines, they got the Uniform Commercial Code. And in here you will find that we everybody talks about all crimes are commercial, fine, but you can't bring commercial into the court because they're gonna think you're crazy. So what do? You go into the CFR, see that the government, the federal government, it's a corporation now. Not only the federal government, although it's a corporation, the executive branch deals in commerce and anything that you need a license for. If you don't have it, they coming to get you. Licenses are for commercial purposes. So now, clearly, we understand that the right to bear arms, it's a federal constitution, and it's also American constitution. One is common law, and what is national. So in this phrase, national means incorporated. It doesn't mean like American state nationals where they run under the common law. It's all on how you use the phrase. And this is under every railroad versus Tompkins. When that case was brought up to the court, they said that well, there's two types of government in each state. One that got citizens at the common law, and the other one that are citizens at the national level, which is a duality of citizenship. So when you challenge jurisdiction and phrases to duality citizenship, you use Erie versus railroad. You not the way you challenge subject matter is it a common law or is it on the national level that you prosecuting me? So whatever. So now if you go to the CFR Federal Rules Code of Federal Regulations, 27 CFR 7211 says all crimes are commercial. Now it says the singular and the plural, so it's basically speaking about everything. So now, when you bring that into a regular court, you're going down. They're gonna slaughter you. They're gonna murder you. You're gonna lose. Now, in there, the judges say, "Oh, well, this is not a commercial transaction." Okay, cool. So that's a positive thing for us Americans, especially the ones that are like in what's that thing called bankruptcy, any type of judgment that goes on your record. You got to get the court clerk to say, listen, this is not a commercial thing. They it's not on your credit or reports and all that stuff. So push come to shove, the Department of the NY New York Department of Justice and Criminal System, DJ something else. I can't remember the exact thing. So that's some type of reporting agency, but the thing is that it goes on your record, and then people deny you jobs because it's on your record. But the court just said that it's not commercial, so why would it go on my credit report? So you got to get a letter from the court clerk, and you send that to them and say, "Listen, you violating the what's that the Title 15? Title 15 deals with credits and debits, I believe, and all that. So so once you get that letter, you forward it to them, and now they're violating the laws, the damn, I can't remember the exact code now. I can't want to go back and look real quick because then the video has to be paused. So you go back and then you look at that. So you could tell them, listen, check R is one of them that says, look, this is what he's charged, this is what happened, this, that, and third. So then other places will say, listen, because of what's in that report, we can't hire you because it interferes with your jobs and all that. I'm gonna give you an example. In there, it may show like oh, you were arrested of a weapon, and now you try to become a security guard, and they say no because that shows in your record. Well, you got to fight that. You got to sue them, and you be like, listen, the court clerk says it's not commercial, and that you can't report it because it's not for credit. It's not commercial, and it doesn't go on my credit report. But you putting it on a report where it's bouncing around and it's coming back to my credit report. So you got to take that off. That's a violation of what? That's another video, but still. So all crimes are commercial. Now to deal in the commercial, you got the 20 code 27 CFR Code of Federal Regulations, and then you got the Uniform Commercial Code. So this is how to navigate within that code. So usually people will get people will lien their birth certificates and all that. So there's a word called annulliate, something like that. It says that, look, this is my document, and says I'm the first one that accepting it and is giving it credit, as in like saying I'm saying I'm labeling this is my property. I give it a value of like $300 million. So in there, you will follow all this, and then you will use this. Now, if you get arrested for some reason and you in court, you will file a request for judicial intervention, and then you will put a uniform commercial code, check the box, paid what is it, like $98 to get a judge to sign and get it transferred. You would do the request for judicial intervention. You put uniform commercial code. You would present your documents. You'll be like, they charging something, and I'm trying to accept it for value. I'm within the guidelines, and you get real deep into it. I'm trying to accept it. They don't know what I'm talking about, so I'm requesting somebody that's knowledgeable within the uniform commercial code. You know, so it's real deep. It's so much into it, but that's how I would do it. I would put a lien on my birth certificate. When you go to court, you automatically request for judicial intervention. Pay this $98. And you put commercial transactions, then you will put the case number. So you'll be go before a hearing officer. Be like, Your Honor, the Uniform Commercial Code is for the executive office. The executive office here is who's the executive office? The officer that arrested me. So on the Code of Federal Rules Regulations says that all crimes are commercial. Now, when we go into commercial transactions, they saying I'm a U.S. citizen. I'm subject to this. So now what I'm stating is that me and the corporation are not one and the same. So that's the long form and the short form birth certificate. It works differently for everybody. It depends on the knowledge of the judge and the person that you're using, because sometimes it's very, very hard, because some people don't even know about the uniform commercial code to that extent, and by the time they do, you already spent time and years in prison appealing and all that stuff. So just request it, get it out the court to somebody. So now you're gonna say, Your Honor, look, they saying they got a lien on me because, look, every time you break something that's a license required, it's a tax code. You're breaking that tax code. So that tax code, when it gets passed by the government, it's a patent. So now when everybody can use the patent and all that, but then it's copyrighted. And when you break the copyright infringement, you subject, like, how some people say, what's that thing? Get ready to rumble, or like the Taco Bell one, or there's little phrases like that people copyright, right? That's what for example, let's get ready to rumble. That guy, every time he says that, he gets $1 million. So now let's say that's the tax code, which says you need a license to bear arms under Article 1, Section 8, Clause 3, and under Article 1, Section 8, Clause 17. So that's their laws, and it's commercial for the executive office. So when you break that, they come to get you. You get what I'm saying? So you saw like Neo in the Matrix. They tell him this is what we want you to do, but Neo wants to get out of the uniform commercial code and be in the private. In the private, there's nothing else. It's private. You can't see what's behind the phone. You can't see the privacy. You can only see what's the orders are given, which is was the the people that trying to get Neo. That's the executive office. You breaking the rules of their codes, and they coming to get you, and they're trying to prosecute you and kill you. They they got something called it's spelled carte blanche, carte blanche, means that it's a blank check. A blank check means that they can do whatever they want, and you whatever they gotta spend, that's what they'll write in there. So that's what we. So it's like unlimited power. But usually it stands for a blank check. So meaning whoever has the money could do what they want. But there's rules and regulations. So their rules and regulations. This whole book. Every time Neil broke something, this is what he broke. He broke the Uniform Commercial Codes, which is the procedure for how to handle 27 CFR 7211, which say crimes of commercial. And that's, look, right now you go to Google and be like, Google, um you go all crimes are commercial is gonna say 27 CFR 7211. When you go to congress.gov and you search the same thing, it will show you there. So now it says all crimes are commercial. What's commercial? So you go to Google and be like, Google, what governs commercial? And it's gonna the Uniform Commercial Code governs all commercial transactions. So you get it? So the only way to override the Uniform Commercial Code is when your rights are constitutional rights. Why? Because they can't create or pass a law that violates that. So it'll nullify the Uniform Commercial Code. But that process is longer because these people are not honoring the oath of office. You know, Your Honor, you got an oath of office under Article 1 line. On the, Article, Paragraph 6, Section 3 of the United States Constitution says you got to take an oath of office. And on Article 6, Paragraph 2 says that you have to follow the Constitution. And Marbury v. Madison says that anything contrary or repugnant is null and void of law. You know what I'm saying? So this would be repugnant because they saying, oh, you need a license for a gun, you need a license to travel, and your automobile and all that. So you get it. Do you understand what I'm getting at? Everybody says all crimes are commercial, but when you search cases that says all crimes are commercial, the judges dub your shit. Because when you in the criminal court, is not commercial, it's criminal. So what you got to do is you got to request for judicial intervention, put in the Uniform Commercial Code, and maybe if you bring your argument there, it will be different. You know, people lien your stuff, then you would accept for value your birth certificate. Now what you're gonna do is you're a private bank, so what you would do is you would, but you put your signature when you read the code 31 USC 328.65 or 5, something like that. I'm gonna try to put another video. It tells you to put it where to put it. So that usually is right here, I think, by the signature when you would sign. So when you sign, you would use that same stamp, and the stamp says, "Paid to the order of for the United States," and there's another word in there to delegates, something like that. I can't remember the word. So when you search that other word, be like, what is this? And it's gonna show you. It's gonna say, oh, the Federal Reserve banks are the word for the United States. So you're like, come on, hold on, this is how banks accept the instrument. So if you got a bank account, you have no funds in there. At the bottom, on the memo, you put Uniform Commercial Code is at the value. And there's another one with you endorsing it on the, I believe is the fourth article and all that. But on your signature, you will put by your name and TTEE. TT stands, it means you're the trustee. So if you go and create a trust, you become the trustee. You're the one managing your affairs. That means that you got proper authority to control your Uniform Commercial Code, where you are your own underwriter and everything. So now when you go to 31 USC 328 or 3 something, I'll put up a video later. You will stamp it. It tells you it goes at a certain spot right there. So some people are getting the stamp. Very, very few people talking about this. So fine, you accepted for value to everything when you created the trust. But now as a private banker under Federal Reserve Act, I can't remember which Federal Reserve Act, which is our remedy, when you endorse paperwork and all that, you will stamp that with that thing. And then it should be able to be enforced. Once they see that code, they're like, okay, he's a private banker. The bank you're using, it's already set up as your middleman. They're doing all your work, doing everything. You just got to go by the trust. And the trust that you make is usually going to be about 40, 50 pages. And the reason it's about 40, 50 pages because in there, you're going to include a copy. You might include a complete copy, except for the trustee minutes to the what was that Secretary of State, to like three different people, which is usually involved in the Treasury Department and even a comptroller. And then you're gonna put them as fiduciaries on the Form 56, and then you also gonna include your whole harmless and identity agreement for both people. When I mean both people, I mean you in capital name and you in small letter name. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna indemnify and do your whole harmless and identity agreement for your both your persons, both your birth certificates. Your long form is the first capital letter and then the small u, and then the short form is the all capital letter U. So you're gonna do these. So on the long form, I never did the short form. On the long form, you're gonna get it a certified apostille. And that one, you're gonna keep that one. That one you gotta try to get two. If you could get two, three, or four, or five, or get certified copy. Keep an original, and then you will forward that. And then the small one, which is the corporation, that's the one that you're gonna do accepted for value. You're gonna create a bond, and you're gonna attach the 31 USC, which is the banker's code, how to endorse stuff. So you know how you get a birth certificate. It has like three, four different seals, signatures from government agents. So now, one of your signatures is the Uniform Commercial Code. Your other signature is gonna be 31 USC something, and the other signature is that you got already your paperwork apostilled. So you put all these processes together. You're creating your own corporation. You could look up how did the United States create this corporation. You're gonna find it's called the District of Columbia Act, and then search how they did it. And we doing all the same thing with our name. So we just by following the process, we creating a treaty. We're not becoming an enemy to the state because we're following what they're following. You get what I'm saying? And when you follow what the orders they give you, you have immunity. Just like government officials have immunity, you'll have immunity. But when you go outside those guidelines, you lose that immunity. Immunity usually comes when you follow the law, and then it falls under Shuttleworth versus City of Birmingham, Alabama, 373 U.S. 262, which states that when a government creates a law in violation of your rights, that you could ignore the license and fee and engage in that right with impunity. So that's your impunity. You're following the guidelines. And when you break the guidelines, you lose your immunity, you go to jail. But a lot of people don't know how to enforce their immunity. Everybody going to jail for not, um, having a license for weapons and all that, and for cars and property and traveling. You just gotta take control. That's all I have for now. I gotta do laundry.